Greetings, Grade 28 facilitators and captains. I pray that this next term is a wonderful term for you and your group. The topic that we will begin this term is law and gospel. Doesn't that sound exciting? Actually, it is a way for you to better understand and read the scriptures. Really, you will find out that when you can begin to look at the scriptures through a law and gospel lens, you will see how much more fruitful they are and how they seem to have a much more of a transformative work in your life. And so, our first lesson will kick off with setting people up to begin to kind of think in the way of law and gospel. And the first example on lesson 1 is talking about a doctor and the role of a doctor to do two things: diagnose the illness accurately and prescribe the right medicine. And so there's a little opening question that kind of fleshes that out a little bit of, obviously, why does a doctor not just start trying medicines without running tests, right? And you could find out that the medicine could do more damage if you didn't have the right diagnosis. And so what we're trying to help our people see here is that the law has a proper function to diagnose the problem in us. And the gospel that Christ provides through his death and resurrection is the remedy. And so we're going to begin looking at some scripture passages and try to, over the course of this series, train you in your eyes and your mind to look for this and to try to understand this and read the scriptures with this lens, okay? So the first one you'll have to read and look up is Romans 7:7-9. And what this does is it just shows you the relationship between the law and sin, and how sometimes even the law and your awareness of it might even awaken sin, as Paul says in Romans 7. Then you'll go to Luke chapter 15. This is the return home of the prodigal son to the father. And what we're trying to look at in this area, as you look at this passage, is to remind folks that it's not how well they construct their confession that brings about forgiveness. It is truly out of God's love and mercy that he forgives, not any merit of our own. And so we're just showing how the Father was so willingly to abundantly forgive and restore his Son without parsing the Son's confession, okay? Though the Son was contrite and the Son was broken, and that's what led him home, okay? Then in the deep end section here, we have some true or false statements, and you will go through these. The first two statements are indeed true, and then we're going to ask you to provide an example or two of what a teaching would be that confuses or combines law and gospel and doesn't keep them separate. So just try to think of some examples of maybe from parenting or grandparenting, where you mix the two or confuse the two and it doesn't do what you had hoped it would do with the child, okay? And then the deliver section is read Matthew 5:21-48, and here you will see that Jesus expands our understanding of the law. He doesn't minimize the law, and he reminds us that the law will remain in place for us even after salvation and faith. All right, and then the prayer section, you can read that, self-explanatory. Blessings. I hope this first lesson and first week is a great one. Have a good one.